Hi, Ian Newton here from Weight Loss Mastery. Welcome to this program. I'm so glad you made this decision, and I know you're going to be glad you made the decision as well. So welcome to Module 1. Just a few points about setting up. Some of you already have a clinic and some of you don't. You don't need any real fancy equipment. One of the great things with hypnosis is you don't need much at all. I tend to use a recliner chair, but I haven't always, and I haven't always used a venue that had a recliner chair, as long as people are reasonably comfortable. I've done hypnosis sessions on boats, even in a hotel foyer, sort of in the upstairs area. It was a kind of weird situation, but hey, this person wanted a session, and I said, why not? Let's do it. There's some options regarding your rooms, and say you've got if you've got a clinic, well, that's fine. If you don't, you have the option of working from home. Now, all you need is for that space to be quiet. It's ideal if there's an entry that comes straight into that room. Remember, clients may want to use the bathroom. Another option, which I've seen some people do successfully, and very few people consider this, is a lot of people would like to rent out a room in their home, but they don't want someone there all the time. So if you know someone, a friend who's got a suitable space, you could make an agreement with them to use that space. And this can work quite well. I've also hired office space where you can hire it by the hour or by the half day or day. This is quite good. I do find those spaces tend to be a little noisier. I've had one place where sound would come in through the air conditioning vent, and it sounded like voices from afar. And another one, the walls were so paper thin that I could hear the complete sales presentation the guy was making next door. And during the session I used there, he made that presentation several times. I knew his product back to front by the time we got started. So that was a spot I wouldn't use again. But it didn't interfere with the client. That's the important thing with hypnosis. We set it up so it's not a problem for them. We don't need a lot of technology. Obviously a computer, perhaps a printer, the ability to be able to burn a CD, and that's all pretty simple stuff these days. So setup is very fast and easy. So I'd like to start with introducing you to an induction. Excuse me. All you'll need now is a quiet space if this is the appropriate time. If it's not, keep going with the slides and come back when it is. It's only going to be a few minutes. The inductions across this session don't have to be long. It's to give you an experience of it, and also just to take on board a few things. So when you're ready, just make yourself comfortable. You can just be in your office chair or any chair. Lie on the floor if you like. Close your eyes. And just notice your breath. Notice your chest gently rising and falling as you breathe. As you breathe inside, taking that breath down, relaxing, comfortably, peacefully, letting go of any tension in the body, consciously relaxing through the neck and shoulders, down through your back, chest, arms and legs. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, relax even more. And as you continue to relax down deeper, more comfortably, thoughts may just drift through your mind. Some of those thoughts will stick. You're taking on this new process, learning hypnosis. It's an exciting process, and what you'll find all these ideas that are being presented to you will simply float in easily, and you'll find yourself being able to quickly adopt new ideas, new learnings, new ways of thinking and practicing. And you'll find yourself taking these learnings on very quickly and confidently, knowing that from the very first person you see, you'll approach them from a deep feeling of power, of personal power and personal confidence. And that's such a good feeling. It feels so good to just relax. Take these thoughts inside, deeper, faster, learning quickly, easily, confidently able to remember and implement all the ideas in the Weight Loss Mastery course proficiently. That's right. And as you continue to relax deeper and deeper, perhaps you can recall a time in your life when you learnt something. Maybe you learnt to ride a bike or drive a car. Maybe you achieved something special in your education. Learnt to use a computer. It could be anything. And you know that deep within you, deep down, there's a place where all of that change has occurred. A place where you've confidently learnt new skills. And you know something? You already have all the resilience, all the resources you need for learning new skills, such as hypnosis. And you'll find you can draw on all of your past experience now to experience confidence in your skills as a hypnosis practitioner. And as you gain mastery over the weight loss process, you are gaining mastery over your delivery and your confidence and your belief in yourself, knowing that you can affect other people's lives powerfully, shifting, changing the way they think, because you have changed the way you think. And so for a moment, just allow all those thoughts to just settle deeply, deep into your unconscious mind, where they reside comfortably. And now you'll begin to just come back into the room consciously, noticing that you can understand what we're doing very easily, and that all this information you're hearing is easily settling into your unconscious mind and into your memory. That's right. So it's time to get started on this whole new program. The phone inquiry, this is very important. This is where two things happen. One, hopefully you get your booking, but two, the hypnosis program is already beginning. You're speaking with them and moving them along a pathway. A yes set is any series of questions that you ask with an answer of yes. Have you tried to lose weight before? Yes. Have you used many diet books? Yes. Have you tried exercise programs? Yes. Are you ready to make a commitment to yourself to finally break through and to lose weight? Yes. This is very, very handy to move people. Once they've made a series of agreements, it is then easier for them to make other agreements. Now, as far as answering the phone, if you do it yourself, if you're already doing it in a clinic, you know what I'm talking about. But maybe you'll want to change this a little. If you have a receptionist, please give them the script, because it's important that they stay on task. And it's worth having someone call your clinic periodically just to check that your script is being read and that the person isn't leaving out important ideas. If your receptionist clearly understands the point of the script, it's easier for them to stick with it. Very important. So when people ring up, if they come as a referral, it's very, very easy, because they probably know how much it is, what's involved, and a friend already has results. So it's really just book me in, I'm ready to start. I love these bookings. Sometimes they only take about 30 seconds, long enough to gather some details. Other times, if someone says, is this the weight loss clinic? Now, if you're doing other things, you won't necessarily identify yourself as a weight loss clinic. So you may need to clarify that with them. But I always like to ask, well, have you heard about my program somewhere? Have you seen a website or a brochure, or if you have any of those things? And I'm just, again, leading people along. I said, well, here's what I do. At this point, I'll take them through the process. We send you a questionnaire because we really want to gather all the facts and figures about you. We want to know all the little things that you've done, what you're hoping to achieve, how you're going to feel about this whole process, anything about emotional eating or food cravings, all of that sort of thing. And then when you come in, it's important that you say when you come in for your appointment. Again, we're making this assumption. We'll be using that information in the session. Every session is unique to the individual. Now, if you elect to do group sessions, and there's no reason why you can't, obviously what you say there will be slightly different. It'd be something like, and in the group sessions, what we do, we cover all the things, because we know so many of the common things, and we'll be digging into the group, and if there's anything different, we'll make sure that everything is included. It's very easy to do that. You can just start with a whiteboard and just ask people about foods they react to, or reasons they eat. You could also have questionnaires for the group, and as long as you have time to go through them beforehand, depending on the size of the group, of course. Now, sometimes a person will simply say, how much is it? Sometimes they'll say this because they don't know what else to say. My response is, good question, can I ask you a couple of questions first? If they say no, I just want to know how much it is, then I'll tell them, then I'm quiet. And I wait for them to speak. At that point, they're either going to want to know more information, or that's the end of the conversation. It's too much, it doesn't suit them, and they'll hang up. Now, I had a lady ask me that question, and when I said the price to her, she gasped. She actually gasped and said, oh, I'm just used to paying $100 for my clairvoyant. And so I didn't want to be rude at all. I said, well, your clairvoyant offers you certain insights into your life, but what we do is we help you make tangible changes, measurable changes in your life. We work very hard to do that. We're doing very specific things for you. And she understood that, and we continued with the conversation. Um, Again, if they say how much is it, and I'll then ask those questions. So we then go down the yes set questions. I want to know also from them, what you've done and how much weight would you like to lose, and what's been your experience in the past. And at that point, they're going to tell you a few things about how things haven't worked. So that gives you the opportunity to literally aggravate the problem. And then we start to look at the solution. So how would you feel if you could lose that weight? And they'll tell you, and they will waffle on perhaps, but if you've got the time, it's worth spending a few minutes with these people, because it really makes a difference. And if they can start getting a grasp of how they will feel, then you're home and hosed. You'll get the booking. And always ask for the booking. It's so important. If you don't ask for the booking, you may not get it. Now, if they're really keen, but they really just can't afford it at the moment, or it's not quite the right time, then you want to collect their details anyway. With those people, I will get a mobile number, and then shortly afterwards I will send a text with a few highlights of what we discussed, all the positive things, and then I will send out an email sometime in the next couple of weeks, and the email will just be, again, hi, how you going, just checking in, we had this discussion, you were interested, blah, and whatever words you want to use. It's not terribly important, it's just that reminder. What I do every 2 to 4 weeks, I'll sit down and go through and send emails to anybody I haven't converted to a session. And I find it's rare that I don't get somebody come back to me and say, oh yeah, I'm glad you contacted me, I can afford to come now, I'm really excited about doing this. Sometimes I won't say they can afford. Sometimes a lot of people don't want to admit they can't actually afford your services at the time. And we can talk about other things. Sometimes people say, like Jenny Craig's really cheap, for example. I say, well, yeah, the front end of Jenny Craig is cheap, but obviously they're a big multinational company. The way they can do that is because they make huge profits. They make huge profits because of the amount of money each client spends with them over time. They know the value of a customer over time, and it's a considerable amount of money. So, and we can look at that with really any of the systems, whether they're getting meals in or they're even going to Weight Watchers. They still keep paying, That's right. And as we know, as we discussed in the webinar, that less than 5% of people are likely to get a result doing these systems anyway, unless they have the right support, the right hypnosis support from you. That's right. You can take a deposit at time of booking. I always find this is a good idea. I call it the commitment deposit. And so when clients come in, I like to have them pay first up as well, for two reasons. One, I like to finish the session not discussing money, but once they hand over their money, it's like another step in the commitment process that they're going to do something. I'm really going to listen to what this guy is going to say. I just handed over all this cash. Very important. The next is our email contact. Now, I've given you a script, and we'll just go through it, and it's the exact script I send out. Hi, thank you, Fred or Mary, for contacting my clinic. You've made an important decision for your future health and well-being. And I want to give them some instructions, because the instructions are part of the process. They're actually starting to work with me now. Please complete the attached form and bring it with you. Be as specific as possible. And as you think about the reasons for weight loss, imagine how you'll look and feel once this change is made. Project your mind forward a few days past your appointment. Congratulate yourself and see yourself eating well with less stress and being naturally more active, and notice how easy it's been. So we're implanting this idea, this thought. Very simple. Now, I like to do the video. I've given you the exact video I give. You can just shoot your own video and put that up there. You don't need fancy equipment. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not film quality or anything like that. the average mobile phone will shoot a perfectly good video these days, or a flip camera. One of the things it does is addresses a few things that you don't have to go over when they come in. And I always say, did you see the video? Yes. And any questions arising from that? Oh no, that's all perfectly reasonable. So you understand about how we eat and when we're stressed and so forth. Yeah, and you got a good overview of the dietary process. Yep. It's a great opportunity just to put some information in there that you don't want to be repeating endlessly. I always like to have the little motivational thing of there at Henry Ford. That's something I've been used in my life for a long time, and I think I drove my son crazy with that saying when he was growing up. I'll then put the date and bookings. If your location's difficult, you can put in a Google map. You can just put a link to a Google map in it. Remind